Hello everyone, today I'm going to be continuing the reading of Blaire Wilson's second book by Jennifer Castle. Chapter 3, Monday Madness. Miss Lewis clapped her hands 3 times. "Ready to rock?" she called. Everyone in our class clapped 3 times and shouted back, "Ready to roll!" "Okay," she said, "Monday Madness starts now." Every Monday morning, Miss Lewis lets us have a party to talk about what was going to happen during the week at school. She said she didn't know why everyone always had class celebrations on Friday, because Mondays were when you really needed a party. "Besides, our classroom is a community," she explained, "and our community needs a chance to connect before starting the week." Today, Amadi, Rosie, Sabrina, Thea, and I came together instantly, like magnets, and flopped onto a pile of pillows in the corner. "I still can't believe Marco from Room Revolutions is staying at your B&B, Amadi said to me. "That is epic! When can I meet him?" "And when will there be another animal pajama party?" Sabrina asked. Before I could answer, there was a knock on the classroom door. "Perfect timing," Miss Lewis said as she got up to open it. "We're getting a new student." Everyone turned to see our principal, Ms. Cheeger, walk in with a boy. He had dark hair and was wearing a t-shirt with a cartoon of a cat eating a taco. It read, "Taco Cat," spelled backward, is Taco Cat. "Good morning, kids," Miss Cheeger announced. "I'd like to introduce you to Eli Carr. Eli just moved here from California. I hope you'll all make him feel very welcome at Bluefield Elementary." "Hi, Eli," I said with a wave. "Welcome." Everyone else did the same kind of thing. But Eli just stared at the floor. Miss Lewis went over to Eli and offered her hand. "Eli, I'm Miss Lewis. So happy to meet you." Eli finally looked up, shook Miss Lewis's hand, then scanned the room. He didn't smile or meet anyone's eye. "It must be freaky being the new kid," Thea murmured to me. "Yeah," I whispered back, "especially with everyone staring at you. I'd be nervous." Thea and I had lived in Bluefield our whole lives. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to walk into a classroom full of strangers. After Miss Cheeger left, Miss Lewis led Eli to the carpet and said, "Eli, would you like to share a fun fact about yourself?" Eli's eyes traveled all over our classroom, taking in the posters on the walls and the giant solar system Miss Lewis had hung from the ceiling. Then he sighed as his gaze settled on the big map of the United States above the whiteboard. "Okay, I've lived in 8 different states, and I've visited 17 others." "Whoa, that's a lot of traveling. I'd only ever been to Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Living on a farm and running a restaurant and B&B meant my family stayed close to home. I felt like I traveled a lot because I spent so much time talking to our guests about where they were from. But Eli was a true traveler. I couldn't wait to ask him about that." "That is a fun fact, Eli," Miss Lewis said. "I hope you'll tell us more soon. Now, find yourself a spot on the carpet. We were just about to have a snack." My stomach twisted. This was the moment I was dreading. Miss Lewis said, "We're all taking turns bringing the Monday Madness snack, and Joey is starting us off." As Joey jumped up to get a paper grocery bag from his cubby, Miss Lewis turned to me and said, "Blaire, would you help me with napkins?" I got up and followed her to the back of the room. "I want to show you where I keep the items your mom sent in," Miss Lewis said quietly. "Feel free to come get these any time you need to switch out a snack, okay?" Miss Lewis opened a cabinet, and there were the dairy-free cookies and granola bars Mom had brought, plus some of the trail mix we had at home. Thanks, I whispered. I grabbed a stack of napkins and looked to see what Joey had brought. 2 boxes of bright orange cheese crackers filled with cheese spread. A definite no for me. I sighed, turned back to the cabinet, and pulled the container of trail mix from the shelf. I put the napkins on the top, hoping no one would notice my separate snack. Do you want to tell the class about your lactose intolerance? Miss Lewis asked quietly. I shook my head quickly. Maybe some other time. Miss Lewis smiled and squeezed my shoulder. You just let me know when you're ready. At the carpet, Joey passed out bowls and then sent the boxes of crackers around the circle that had formed. I sat next to Thea and tucked the trail mix between us. As she handed me a bowl, Thea winked and said, We got this, don't worry. Rosie was sitting on the other side of me, and when she started to hand over the box of crackers, Thea leaned in front of me and took it. Pour the trail mix now, Thea whispered to me. I took the lid off my trail mix and shook some into my bowl. My eyes darted around the circle, and then I smiled at Thea. She was right. No one noticed. Almost no one. Ahem. Joey cleared his throat. He was standing in the middle of the circle with his hands clapped on his hips. Chef Blaire, is my snack not gourmet enough for you? A couple of kids laughed, and my face went red hot. Everyone was staring at me, and I didn't know what to do. It was the moment I'd feared, but 1,000 times worse. Here, Amati, Thea said loudly, passing the cheese crackers without taking any. Thea held her bowl out to me. Can I have some of your trail mix? She asked. Before I could answer, Thea reached into the container and grabbed a dried cherry. She threw it into the air and tried to catch it in her mouth. She missed, and the cherry bounced off her nose. Everyone laughed, and Thea grinned from her spot on the carpet. Blaire's swapping out a snack from home, Miss Lewis said. Joey, thanks for the crackers. Have a seat. Let's all talk about what's coming up this week. Thank you, I whispered to Thea as Miss Lewis started to talk about our science project. Anytime, she said, popping an almond into her mouth. After going through a short list, Miss Lewis put her notepad aside and leaned into the circle. The most important thing I want to talk about right now is the 5th grade Community Service Challenge. Here it comes, Thea whispered in my ear, nudging me. You're now the oldest students at Bluefield Elementary, Miss Lewis said, and you've grown and learned so much since you started school. The Community Service Challenge is about taking all that learning and turning it into something that helps our community. Thea and I exchanged a thumbs up. Bring it on. This goes beyond our classroom and school community, Miss Lewis continued. This is about our larger Bluefield community. What do you care about when it comes to our city and your neighbors? How can you contribute to something that matters to you personally? She paused, glancing around at us. I shook the trail mix in my bowl, mixing the different ingredients around. I always thought of the guests at the B&B, the restaurant staff, and the farm crew as my community. So much of my world was about the people at my home and the people who came through there. I'd always been able to contribute to that community. Now I wondered what I could do for the Bluefield community. Keep in mind that community service comes in different shapes and sizes, Miss Lewis told us. It doesn't have to be big or take up tons of time. I stared out the window, my mind spinning. I love doing things big. Now I had a chance to make a big difference. I couldn't help but think of the display case in the hallway. How awesome would it be if one of my big ideas became a permanent part of Bluefield Elementary? I looked at Thea and grinned. I'd never done anything like this before, but I couldn't wait to try. The animal shelter, Sabrina said as she hung upside down on the giant spider web on our playground at recess. I'm going to see if my parents will let me foster kittens. Maybe I could help my mom coach the little kids' soccer team, Rosie said. 10 5-year-olds plus 10 soccer balls? She could definitely use an assistant. Some people from my Greek dance troupe perform at seniors' centers and hospitals, Thea said. I should find out if I can join them. What about you, Blaire? Asked Rosie. You're always good at ideas. The wind kicked up a bit, and Rosie tugged on the sleeves of her shirt, trying to pull them down. Ugh, I told my mom this was too small. I had a growth spurt over the summer, and none of my clothes fit anymore. Same here, Thea said. I had to buy a bunch of new pants for school. Pop, I had a brainstorm. I called them idea sparks when they came all of a sudden, but at just the right moment. Hey, I said, my brother and I have a ton of stuff we've outgrown too. I could collect all the clothing my family doesn't need anymore and give it away. My mom always brings things to Bluefield Helping Hand Center. Make sure the clothes are in season, said an unfamiliar voice. No one's looking for summer stuff right now. We all spun around. The new kid, Eli, was sitting in the wood chips underneath the slide with a tablet on his lap. Hey, Amadi said, dropping down from the spiderweb. We're not allowed to have devices at school. Eli turned his tablet off, but didn't say anything else. I hopped down from the spiderweb. Grandpa always says it only takes one kind word to make someone feel welcome. That was his motto at the B&B. That's good advice, I said. Thanks. Eli looked up for only a second, then back down. I'm Blaire. This is Sabrina, Amadi, Rose, and Thea. Okay, he mumbled. I like your t-shirt, I continued. My dad has socks with taco dinosaurs, Thea added. You know, Tacosaurus. I saw a quick smile cross Eli's face, but he didn't say anything. Maybe no one explained the rules about devices, I continued. They're not allowed. He just shrugged and replied, Miss Cheeger explained all the rules. Then he got up, tucked the tablet under his shirt, and walked away. Alrighty then, Rose said. That was awkward, Thea added. He could be, a little friendlier, Sabrina said. He's probably nervous with the new school thing, I said. I'm sure he'll warm up. I hope you're right, Thea said. As I watched Eli walk across the playground, I wondered what friends he'd left behind when he moved. It's going to be weird for him to pick a community service project since he just moved here, I said. I didn't think of that, Sabrina said. Maybe we can help him, I suggested. Thea looped her arm in mine. Blaire, if you were a superhero, your name would be Mighty People Person. I looked back at Eli, who was all alone. Well, everyone could use a friend, I said. And if Eli will let me, I thought I'll be his. Aw, Blaire is so sweet. She's always thinking of everybody else. I absolutely love her as a character. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the reading of Chapter 3. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell for post notifications. Thanks for watching. See you soon.